We have arcs now for Hayley's Comets. I haven't heard too much about him. What do you know of arcs from your current team?
Arx was a charger main when he joined us, and actually, I think we found Arx because of Double D, I think. But Adelaide being Adelaide, we actually ended up realizing we had other mutual connections anyway. But Arx had been hanging around the Double D server, played a lot of Mario Kart with those guys, and I think was hoping to join the team when Double D was still thinking of playing competitive, but after they decided, to take a bit of a step back, he came to us, and has been a great, Pallet and Arx, both great pickups for our team. I say as one of the laziest members of the squad. I do need to change the team titles. It's going to be delayed.
Wait, Pallet or Arcs as the
Both
laziest?
of them.
Pallet?
No, I'm lazy.
Oh.
Those guys are good because they're like, let's squad, let's all that sort of thing. So it's good.
Yeah, having played with Pallet, definitely a great acquisition to the Hayley's Comets team, and look forward to seeing a bit of flatling action in here.
So we are watching Otter with the Brella. Brella's pretty popular in our in the Oceanink server at the moment.
Yep. The brolly being the Australian term for it. That's actually a fantastic snipe from Arx on the inkjet there.
Yeah.
We've seen a couple tonight. Mawile still having trouble with platforming, but
we've seen that problem from a number of players, and I think maybe that's one place where we can get a bit of a cheap win on improving results.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to go to single player and see what I can do to improve my platforming myself.
If the bottom of the thing isn't inked, you can hardly swim up it, so you've got to jump into the wall. But anyway, we got all players up, so let's see if ProXii can hold this lead. But no, as I say, that 2 players go down. But it is a 2v2 actually. Pallet with the mini Splatlings actually going to clean up Dino there. Going to farm some missiles.
Ooh, those bubbles. What do you think of the bubbles?
I think with Object Shredder on the heavy deco, I think they can be quite good. It's just that, I think the splash
good
ball
cap
is
there.
the problem with them, because they're not quite as good as they are in Splatoon 1. Obviously, they don't come out as quickly as they do, but only time will tell to see if people, in terms of team composition as well as synergy, are able to put bubbles to good use.
And what do you think the role of the bubble special is? Because I've seen people try and use them offensively to push them over, and we did see Smarty trying to pop that good teamwork conceptually, but didn't quite come together with trying to pop the bubbles over the zone. But
with the splashdown?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's fairly interesting. I think it's more area denial as well as, you can actually abuse the hitboxes of them to move in with them.
So really more like a big glorified set of walls.
Yeah. We're actually going to see... Did ProXii win that? Or the... No, you got the ink colors around. But, yeah, in terms of, bubbles, going forward, I think they're good on Rainmaker, I believe. If you're, on Humpback Pump Track, if you blow some bubbles going into the, pushing into the base, you can definitely shield the Rainmaker from, getting hit by the bubbles. Or through the bubbles, rather.
Oops. Oh, stream is saying I have the teams backwards. Sorry, folks.
Yeah.
Well, you said to jump in when I was ready. Hope I'm
Oh,
not
it's
interrupting
Sicky! Woohoo! I can take a step back from chatting.
You can
And,
take a sickie now.
Yes, that's it. Welcome, Sicky. I might just put your volume up a little bit. Hello.
All right. Well, hopefully that's all right.
I might need to turn other things down, actually.
I'm not sure if I can actually turn up the volume on my mic, so I can bring it a little closer, but that might.
Oh, that's great. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So where are we up to at this point? I'm going to have
we're
to ask-
on map 2 of Hayley's Comets versus ProXii.
Okay.
Game just started, it's on 457, and we're gonna see my favourite comp in Splatoon 2 in this current patch. 4 aerosprays. Unfortunately, they're not all RGs, so we're not going to see 20 ballers out of this game, but hopefully we'll
That is
see
quite
some
disappointing.
explosive action. I know.
I'm just waiting for the stream to refresh because I'm a little bit behind here, so I'll leave it to you for the time being, Gabe.
Yeah, it's 4 minutes 28, 27, but
Well, explosive action got started with the curling bomb rush, in fact, not the baller, so...
yeah. Actually, Hayley's Comets is just going to clean up the rest of the Aerospray Brigade. Otter's just going to go in and do custom junior things. Try to farm this...
I was just about to say, Hayley's Comets isn't drawing away from the memes because we're seeing Custom Splattershot Junior, which, believe it, folks, is still as much of a meme as it ever has been.
Oh, no, it's
In my
way
personal
better.
opinion.
No, it's... I would say usable.
Yeah, it actually has a usable, like, a kit that has reasons why you might want to take it. I say this
It's
as a
got a little
junior
bit like-
main.
So perhaps a bit of a biased opinion there. Inkjet Nurse apparently weren't hard enough because the Inkjet is going to take out one person from ProXii, and ProXii is now going to... It's still cut the zone somehow because they're able to take out 1 or 2 people, I think, from Hayley's Comet side. Pallet doing a lot of work on this left-hand side, and I don't really think anyone's going to be able to take her out unless they bunch together like they did just then, even though it's 3 players going down for ProXii.
Ooh, Rose swimming straight through that sprinkler.
Sprinkler.
Can you give me a time check, Sicky? I reckon you're probably about 10 seconds behind.
Yeah, that's the problem, unfortunately. It's because I'm doing it through the stream. So I'm at 307, 305.
Oh, what?
We do have a backup for that.
If you're able to link
Ali
me to
will
that,
link
that'd be great.
Give me 1 second. I'll send you the totally not secret link.
Super secret. I think Pallet Splatling is going to be... Either Pallet or Otter will be top of this. Yeah,
And
that's
that-
just going to be a knockout for them. For Hayley's Comets.
Alright, let's see how this goes.
Yeah, fairly even contributions around there.
I don't
as
know
expected.
if I could say too much that I was that impressed with the heavy splatting. It's sort of like those games on more that'd be like playing with an E-leader against, I don't know, 4 arrow sprays, I suppose. That'd be the best comparison. You
yeah, I'm not
can't
sure
really
that-
say you played well if you hardly ever got killed.
Yeah, I'm not too sure if we can really analyze too much. I mean, 4 arrow sprays.
But I was going to say, don't be too discouraged, people, to try wacky things. I'll tell you, in my recent experiences in solo queue, I've been overloaded with the amount of aerospray RGs and 52 gals just being pains in my base and in my team's base. It's been quite a problem in recent times that I've had to start wearing Object Shredder all the time.
Yeah, people have shifted away from armor mains to baller mains.
Yeah, that's definitely where I'm seeing the meta moving at this stage.
So basically, the Inkjet mains have moved to splashdown mains, the armor mains have moved to baller mains. Yeah, just a different kettle.
Yeah, I feel kind of bad. I feel kind of bad for inkjet users because I see so many people still using them as if they're as overpowered as they used to be, and they just sort of fly around and they're very easy to hit. So if you're using inkjet, people, please practice going into squid form and firing off 2 or 3 shots. You sort of got to treat it like post-nerfing Zuka from Splat 1, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely direct or die right now.
It is. It's either direct or miss every single shot and eventually die because people are gonna jump underneath you because going underneath the exhaust doesn't kill you in 2 seconds, as I found out in the original.
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
Yeah, I couldn't actually believe how much damage the inkjet exhaust did when I did some testing.
Alright,
When I
how'd you
actually
go
went in
with
and
the
tested it-
intermediate stream, Sicky?
So at the moment the match is just gone, it's just gone to the black screen.
Okay, that sounds good. Sounds like we're pretty close.
Squid Team 1, Squid Team 2.
Okay, so headers
Go.
come blue, ProXii is green. Go. Alright, it's just I'm a little bit behind you, but
Yep,
that's
you're a
good.
couple of seconds behind. That's fine. Better than before. Well, I'm going to leave you guys to it.
Okay.
I'll be
Thank
here,
you
though.
very much, Alex. Yeah, you'll be
Well,
here to support
I'll
us.
say things that you can hear, but the stream won't be able to hear.
Awesome.
Alright.
So at the moment we've got a 2v2 on tower control humpback pump track. We've got Pallet using the vanilla slosher with light bombs and temper missiles, who does have missiles ready. Able to get one. Unable to get a second as the splat bomb from a while actually gets her.
Yeah, not very clean positioning there. You'd think that there's a slosh mobile, jumping around, because jumping doesn't affect your accuracy when you're using a slosher, which of course is why you should be working on, being able to jump around as much as you can. Morehouse going to get a nice double there with the baller coming out. Very nice play coming from behind. That's what you want to do with the Lunar on tower control. Interesting that Hayley's Comets has gone with the Charger. I've never seen Arcs before.
Arcs is apparently a Charger main. Was hanging around in the Double D server and then was picked up by Hayley's Comets.
Nice.
Interesting ink mine placement just to avoid the flanks, but they're all focused on tower right now, so I'm not sure how much use there would be.
Yeah. I'm just noticing a little bit with with Arcs, that he's sending out quite a lot of semi-charged shots. I think that's a bit of a reflex from Splat 1, even though they sped up the charges somewhat. I don't think it doesn't feel natural like it did in Splat 1. Certainly charges feel like a much slower weapon than it did before.
Yeah, I think with the the splatter scope is definitely probably better. A good snipe there on tower actually, and is probably going to get a second one on the tower. No, blocked by Baller, but the rest of Hayley's Comets able to clean that one up.
Yeah, good positioning. I do like how Hayley's Comets is doing a nice job defending over on this side where, they've got the slosher, which is a real on that right snipe, just lobbing ink over onto the tower. They do have a counter to that. ProXii, though, has the blaster, but the Lunar have to move around. And at the moment, this entire mid is just covered in Hayley's Comets color, and they've moved up in slightly more aggressive positions, each of them. Smutty doing some work on this left-hand side to try and put some ink down. Really trying to avoid the ink storm, but he's going to get taken out by a nice... I think it was a semi-charge from Arcs, actually, because of the damage.
Yeah, damage from rain. I think at this moment, ProXii is just going in one by one as Osh is able to shield the tower momentarily. Trying to tap shot his way out of that is the year leader. I was going to say I wanted to see Arcs moving a little bit more forward from that position, but as soon as he did, he just got taken out.
Look, it's certainly not a bad thing. You really do want your charges moving up. A lot of the time when you're using weapons like Jet Squelcher or Heavy Splat, then you are going to be the furthest back on your team, but you need to have the game sense to move forward into the mid, because once you do, you can control so much of the map for your team if you can confidently take out people as they try to approach you.
Yeah.
Smarty almost getting the flank there on Rose. Nice little camp, but Rose's just a little bit better, her reactions just a little bit faster. Otto did some really good work on tower there, which is that he waited for people to actually walk into his umbrella. And
unfortunately,
what's so clever
that he gets taken out by the killing mob.
But even so, the Brower actually does, I think, 30 damage if you run into it. So 190 direct, or even just sort of a mid-range shot from the Brower will actually finish someone off. So it's a very effective tower riding weapon.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, we see. I think. Fantastic work from Moal to use that jump, but gets taken out by Rose on this point. Is ProXii going to get this? They are. That's actually fantastic work from them.
Oh, man, that
They just rode the tower and managed to sort of cycle Hayley's Comet spawns.
So the interesting thing was that I noticed on Hayley's Comet's push, which is actually the penultimate push, so the second last push of that last match, I noticed that Hayley's Comets had a lot of turf control and they were on the tower. And the thing that was hurting ProXii was that they were not going to the tower, as you say, as a team of 2 or 3 people. They were just going in individually. I think they got a little bit lucky with maybe their Tenetex taking out a couple people from behind. And even without turf control, they just kept pushing the tower with the Octobrush on the tower, obviously taking out a few people on the way there. The Slosher wasn't able to get to Snipe quickly enough and was unfortunately flanked and taken out by Morale, and the combination of pressure from Morale plus the one, I think it was Smarty coming from behind, and they just got into their base, and from that point it was just a landslide to the finish. But no turf control on that. That's what's so surprising.
Yeah, none of the map was all purple.
Yeah, I think Hayley's Comets just needs to concentrate on getting into good positions once they have turf control, because they're certainly not having any problem establishing control. Their map presence is perhaps not. They don't know where they want to be, perhaps on pushes forward.
Yeah, I think Arcs being top of the that's at the end of the game with 14 splats sort of tells a bit of the story. Arcs basically, as soon as he went down, HC actually had a bit of a hard time re-establishing control.
Yeah, it's surprising. It probably demonstrates, I would say, if anything, it would demonstrate a lack of patience from Hayley's Comets, because if you have a turf advantage, which they obviously did for a large portion of that match, it should be relatively easy to kite people like with long-range shots. Fire 2 or 3 shots, you miss, okay, just reposition and take them out. Perhaps if they were rushing in, that was probably how those kills came out, because an Octobrush is a very tough weapon to rush down, and the Lunar Blaster isn't the sort of weapon you want to be doing that to either.
No, as we're going to go into Tower Control on Kelp Dome, the new map released just this Saturday.
Okay,
I say new, but yeah.
Well, it's great to have it back, I have to be honest with you. I like this map. It's always good to see more maps coming back to Splat 1.
I see what you did there was great.
That's pointless to say, no pun intended at this point, isn't it, folks?
Anyway, we're going to see an early push come out from ProXii to 89, but I think Hayley's Comets are going to push that and take the lead pretty soon.
Yeah, again, Palette has a pretty significant range advantage on all of the team composition there for ProXii, so she should be in a fairly strong position to ride the tower and just defend it. Good defense there, though, from Rose, doing exactly protecting the long-range weapon with her Octobrush. She's going to get taken down fairly easily, as we said. Inkjet does not make you invincible anymore, no. So be more careful when you're using it.
Unfortunately, with the respawns coming out from Hayley's Comets to 3v3 at the moment, so certainly not the worst. Definitely neutral at the moment, but as I say, that ProXii going to take it to the first checkpoint and put a baller on the tower, actually. Oh, gets the baller explosion before the splashdown invincibility frames.
Yeah, that's interesting. It was a very good kill there to get kills before the invincibility frames come out. Getting another second person. I'm actually quite liking the way that Morale's playing. A liberal use of splat bombs, getting up into good positions, and actually putting down a fair amount of turf, as much as you'd expect from a Luna. And this is going to be continuing well past that first checkpoint, down past 40, and they're on the final street to the goal.
Yeah, they're on the final stretch. This Inkjet, can it do work? Gets Manly, actually. 2 now, only up for ProXii. They actually get past the check. Going with Dino. So they've taken all the way to 6, and we're going to have to see Hayley's Comets pull something out of the bag to get this one.
I feel like if Hayley's Comets just play smart and gets Palette up onto that top mid, that has to be their first priority, getting Palette up onto that top mid position, laying Ink down for them to be able to start the push and just being able to take out people with the height and range advantage you should have. Unfortunately, they're just all jumping in. I don't know if there's some stealth jump coming in or if they're just rolling out very quickly, but ProXii are playing some good reverse. They're still playing aggressive, which is a good thing because they still have a semblance of turf control in the zone area.
I think in this game you definitely need to be one of the more aggressive ones. Unfortunately, that is effectively a team wipe for ProXii, so we're going to see a counter push here from Hayley's Comets.
The sploosh is not a turf control weapon because it doesn't really have the range to turf safely, but once there's 3 or 4 players down, you can say goodbye to any turf control you had with a sploosh. They'll turf as fast as an aerospray, and what we're seeing now is that full turf control is going right into Pallet's advantage. He can have shots safe and ready to charge. Your teammates are pushing up in better positions. I'd like to see Otter not alone on that street side. I'd like to see someone watching that flat area, which they do now, so Arx is doing a good job with his blaster. There's 2 players, 3 players going down now, and the counter
that's amazing. Pallet saved this Stingray for the last stretch, and that's a full wipe for ProXii.
Yeah, very smart.
Are they able to get this?
I think they're going to be able to get this as long as they don't make any silly mistakes. So they've got 2 players around the tree, and good positioning there. Rose was on the right-hand side while Arx was watching the left drop, and they win that game by knockout.
Yeah, they definitely had the coordination on the push at the end. They're going in front of tower while Pallet was freely charging up her Splatling and cleaning up anyone else that tried to come through.
Yep. Look, it sounds a bit tough sometimes to say to teams that like certain compositions don't work, but when there's a weapon that outranges every weapon on your team by about 30 or 40%, once they get turf control, they're going to be a very daunting presence on the map. And that was exactly what happened. As soon as I saw the counter push and the turf control was in favor of Hayley's Comets, it was very difficult to see, barring any significant mistakes, to see ProXii coming back from that.
Yeah, unfortunately with the Lunar Blaster and and everything else that ProXii had, unfortunately that's not a very retake.
Yeah,
not nice to retake a tower.
Yeah, I mean, teams can always make things work. I mean, if you've got a good enough player who knows, like, sort of smart positioning, has a good idea of where to go on the map, and is able to get 1 or 2 players, sure, you can always make any team composition work. But there are things that are going to be harder, and you will make your life harder if you're having if there's an enemy that outranges every weapon in your team.
Yeah, another thing ProXii could have done was they had the push to 6 to work with. I would have liked to see them build a bit more special. Get turf control, get some turf in their own base, and then push out together as a team with specials to retake it before the 6.
Yeah, you really do want to keep up the pressure. You don't want to be like, oh yeah, we got 6 points, we were going to win this, because as you can see, and this game is even more volatile than the first. I don't know what you think in your experience from Split 1, but this is definitely a more volatile game for whatever reason.
Yeah, definitely in Rainmaker, as we're seeing, it's never over until it's actually dunked on that podium.
Nope, good decision though. I'd like to see that ProXii's being aggressive. This is one of those maps you just got to keep continually pushing because it's so easy to get knocked out. So they're going to start with the first push, 78. It's going to come back a little bit towards that right-hand side. Good push coming out, but honestly, 60 or 50 isn't even a winning push on this map. So they need to keep pushing it. They need to get the knockout from those Comets.
Oh, actually, Smarty, yes, able to defend that one. Ever get 3 down. Luster's Pallet on the Splatling in the alley. She's going to retreat, I think, safely.
Yeah, good idea to retreat because Smarty had the upper ground and was able to avoid her shot, so he probably could have taken her out if he'd just been a little bit quicker on the uptake, but that's fine. So he's going to put his position on that right-hand side and put down some good turf control. There's autobombs coming out from Hayley's Comets. I feel like they're in a good position. Unfortunately going to get taken out there. Morwell is trying to come behind with the ball. He's the only person alive. He's going to try and take out one person, but he's not going to be able to get anyone. Good play there from Rose.
Yeah, I think he got a bit of a baller syndrome trying to take out 2 or 3 at a time there, but I reckon he should have saved that and sharked effectively with the Luna.
Yeah, I mean, the Luna isn't going to charge baller as quickly as weapons like, say, a 52 or the L3, so it's better to save it for a good time.
Or my current favorite, Aerospray RG.
Yeah, I mean, I might be ignoring that just a touch. I'm kind of... Otter not really paying attention to the fact that...
weapon.
I was just about to say, Otter not really paying attention to the fact that it wasn't one of his teammates popping the Rainmaker, and he's going to go down there. 2 players pushing up, but not actually getting any kills. Arx coming off with a really nice snipe there on the off rush. Getting a lot of switch back and forth on these spectator modes. That's throwing me off a little bit.
Yeah, actually, Rose, unfortunately, unable to get the splat at max range on Smarty, and now the Stingray coming out from Pallet all the way from the back. Going to do an effective job at keeping ProXii at bay, and going to be potentially another push for Hayley's Comets.
Yeah, Rose doing a really good job just being, somewhat patient. She gets a nice kill with an auto bomb, just sort of randomly walking across the other side of bridge. This is good turf control. Both teams are trying to establish some turf control this match, so I'm liking the response that they've both had, where they're prioritizing getting a little bit of turf down before they start pushing. Unfortunately, I do see, again, a really big advantage in favor of Hayley's Comets. I mean, they are running two, I suppose you could say, turf-deficient weapons in some way. They've got E-leader
Here comes ProXii. Are they going to get this? They got the lead and the dunk. They just ran it straight through Hayley's Comets, not with the lack of objective awareness as we've talked about in a couple of matches ago.
Yeah,
they're going to get knocked out.
Yep, that was a classic case of a Tenatech came into your base, killed 2 people, and it steamrolled from there. That's the danger of this map. If you lose 2 players on this map, because it's so large, and this is something to keep in mind on all large maps, if you spread yourselves out in good positions, that's fine. But if it's so large down, you're going to have a hole. And usually that hole, because this map has 2 pushes, one through the far right side, one through the left, they're going to be pushing the Rainmaker through a pretty easy spot.
Yeah, definitely. One thing that Hayley's Comets will have to work on will definitely be the rotations. So, calling out things early for where the push is happening, where someone needs help, where someone's down. Yeah, they're going to have to work on that, especially when it comes to the objective and pushing things like Rainmaker, the tower, as we've just seen. Yeah, I think we also saw Otter in that game getting popped by the Rainmaker while sharking.
Yeah, it's little things like that which show that there's perhaps not enough communication going on. But I'm actually going to switch for a little while and talk positively. I love seeing teams that win by playing objective, and there's plenty of times where perhaps the more skilled team doesn't win because they simply didn't concentrate on objective. And I love the attitude that ProXii is showing towards the objective. They are just consistently pushing and pushing and pushing. And that match, it was even more successful because they focused on getting a bit of turf down on that far left-hand side from Hayley's Comets' perspective, and were able to take down 2 people and quickly rush into the base. It was they're very urgent. Their pushes feel like they're coming out because there's the opportunity and they're taking it. So really, really good on them.
They're much more effective. They won't have as many pushes as Hayley Comets probably does, but they're doing much more when they've got the advantage.
Yeah, it feels like they've just got that sense of urgency. Like even here, so I'm at 4-36, 4-34.
432, 31.
Okay, that's good.
Yep.
Close. Even here, we're just seeing the very first person to make a push again this match is ProXii. So ProXii have made the first push, lost a couple players, but there's really even amount of turf control from both teams. Again, same team composition from ProXii. Slight change. I think they've swapped the E-leader out for an Octorush, perhaps, or a Tenatech.
Wait, who?
Hayley's Comets.
Hayley's Comets? I think we saw a Tenatech and a Rush. We didn't see the E-leader last match.
Oh, there was an E-leader from Hayley's Comets. Arx was definitely playing E-leader that last match, which I think was probably what hurt them on the pushback. But either way, both teams are battling for turf control in mid. There's 2 super jumping in, unfortunately, for Hayley's Comets. Not particularly smart. Going to get one person. Nice smart play there by Deno. He's just keeping his space. He knows he outranges the Spitling, trying to get one person. Spots another person underneath him, is not able to get the trade. Like you say, it's direct or die.
Yep. And Otto, fantastic shark there underneath the bunker.
Nice.
Getting ProXii. Oh, it gets 2 actually. That's a nice 2 for 1. Hayley's Comets going to jump into Rose on the bunker. Definitely an advantageous position to be in as a brush, raining down ink from above.
It is indeed. Would have been nice to see a little bit of run speed from these teams if they are running it. It's very useful to have either a slosher or a brush for most greats with running across and putting ink down. Quite a few inkjets from both teams. Smarty is going to have his turn to try and pick a couple of people off. Not really seeing anyone, just randomly firing shots off, and it's those kind of inkjets that aren't going to do anything. So do try and save your inkjet until you see an opportunity to take someone out, or if you're going for a push. Pallets on the left-hand side going to get a nice pop. That was 3 players going down for ProXii, so they should have been able to get a push out of that, but one of the last player remaining alive has picked it up and delayed it. Good play.
Yep, Pallet actually getting taken out by Curling Bomb as ProXii now, I think, able to get a counter push going. Unfortunately, Mawal runs out of ink, but is able to pop the baller as well as someone with the Rainmaker. He's actually picked up the Rainmaker as a baller. Oh no.
I don't think he wanted to do that. I think he was trying to climb up the wall and accidentally picked it up and Oh, well, that was a bit of a
I don't
bad
think he's
situation.
had that interaction before.
At the moment, this is rather strange. Both teams are just sort of super jumping in and arriving, and there's two players going down and trading, and there's no real coordination from either team. There's a bit of a
Yeah,
splat
it's
going on
just
at the moment.
stuck on that danger area.
It's 3
May as
minutes
well
gone
be
and teams
quick
haven't
deathmatch.
pushed past 60 points. This is very strange for this map.
Yeah, one thing I'd like to see is Pallet sort of getting on the high ground and taking turf control from up above.
Yeah, you think, again, having a really significant range advantage, Pallet should feel really comfortable being up on this grade. So that's going to be a full team wipe, though. Hayley's Comets has finally gotten rid of all of them. There's no more super jumpers coming in. They should be able to get a good push off this. They just need to concentrate on not dying. So there's an off-brush popping up on the left-hand side. Arc sees it, takes it out. They're pushing through
Yeah,
the
they
far
actually have
left.
3 down again.
Yeah, this is good hustle from Hayley's Comets.
Oh, and it's just ink everywhere as Hayley's Comets end up pushing it to 18. Manly trying to ink rain from above. I think there's one in the base for Hayley's Comets with an ink jet.
Yeah, this is not safe. I would have really liked to have seen one of the players from ProXii taking out that last remaining player alive, because he was behind the mast and someone might have been, like the other 2 or 3 players might have been jumping to him. So definitely need to pay more attention to that, but there's going to be an ink jet coming out. Going to get taken out very quickly, as you say, by Pallets camping up on the top of that.
Right on cue, Pallet on the top.
Trails. And it's going to be 3 more players going down for ProXii, so yeah, they're going to be...
Oh no, at
suffering
this moment
right
they're
now.
just feeding. I think ProXii need to just establish a bit of turf control, get some specials going, and really get this Rainmaker out of here.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to see them getting out of this situation, but we've seen stranger things happen this turn. Going to get a trade there between 2 players. There's now another 3 players again going down. Hayley's Comets has taken better advantage of their kills and established some turf control, and then Pallet is doing the smart thing, just watching right up on these upgrades.
Yeah, with 15 seconds to go, that's a fairly good idea.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be seeing any counter pushes at this point. There's 2 players going down, 3 players now. This match is probably going to go to Hayley's Comets. Good play. That was nice hustle there from Hayley's Comets on the left-hand side to push when the opportunity arises. I don't know if they were listening in, because they definitely showcased a lot more hustle in that match. That was really good to see that after 4 players going down, they just push, and they're just like, yep, 2 players with the Rainmaker or 1 player with the Rainmaker, and just push.